Today I was working with a friend of mine, and she asked me, she asked me that are spiritual people just denying reality by living in their own world and not attending clubs, not socializing, not meeting other people? Now, especially the reference was to introverts, because I myself, I am an introvert and she also is an introvert. And my first thought was that who decides what is the right code of conduct, so as to speak? Well, there are so many writers who have lived in in isolation and not in groups, who were not extroverts, and who just dedicated their life to their writing or to their art. So how does one decide if one is on the right path or not? And how do we know if that advice is for all? Because the modern psychology and the general trend is that we should be out there socializing, and that human beings are social creatures and they should be socializing with others. We are not meant to live in isolation. But then how much do we socialize? What is too much and what is too little? How do we decide all of that? So in the end, it boils down to how one feels within. So the question is that with your routine, whatever that may be, are you at peace? Now, I am also an introvert. I don't like meeting people too much because I don't have that kind of energy. I don't put in too much energy to go to social events and meet people. That's my nature. I like to read. I like to watch videos sometimes. I like to talk to some selected group of friends and people who are there in my life. And I want to go deep into concepts. When I talk about life. I talk about philosophy. I don't wish to speak about the politics, the news, the weather. I don't wish to speak about what I had this morning for breakfast or what I'm planning for dinner. I don't like to talk about anybody's families, like what is going on in their life, who they are dating, who they are seeing, how is their equation with their parents. Because that information is absolutely irrelevant for me. So I discussed with my friend and I told her that who decides what is right? Because a majority of this general information that is given to us, that we must be very social, and the studies that are cited that social people live longer, I don't know what are the total, parameters they are taking into account when conducting these studies. Because I know a lot of people who were quite reserved in their life and lived very, very long. So I don't think that these studies are absolute, and that maybe in the future they may change as they have, as it has happened in the past. A lot of studies have been proved wrong and new studies come. So the question is, deep down, are you at peace? If you are at peace with your work, if you are able to produce or be creative in some way in a day, I think that's absolutely fine. So when me and my friend, we were working on this small piece of meditation that we had prepared, which is, by the way, available on our channel, Being Peaceful, she created this wonderful meditation, 1-minute meditation, and we both edited it together and uploaded it on that channel. And I highly encourage you to go to Being Peaceful channel and check that meditation out. It's a beautiful meditation. It comes from her own journal. She has been journaling for the past many years and had kept her thoughts to herself. So I said that why not put that on our channel, Being Peaceful, and why not share it with the world? And she liked the idea. So we went to this place here in New Delhi. It's called Sundar Nursery, and we roam around the place, and it's a very beautiful place with nature, flowers, and a lot of wilderness also. So we were roaming around in the wilderness, in the nature. We took some photographs, and she included those photographs in that meditation too. And it was such a beautiful experience. So all we did today was just editing that video and uploading it to Being Peaceful channel. And that meditation was appreciated by many people, which was very encouraging. And today, that's all we felt like doing. Nothing else. Well, we did have a philosophical discussion about the nature of reality, which we always do. But nothing more than that. So sometimes it's perfectly okay. And with her, she's designed in this way that she's very productive in the morning hours and in the evening hours. But in the afternoon hours, she does not feel like doing any work. And some of that is my conditioning too, because I like to work till the afternoon, but in the evening time, somewhere between 3 to 5 or 3 to 6, I do not like to work at all. By evening, I go for walks. Sometimes I go for walks with her, and we have a beautiful discussion on spirituality, on non-duality, and many other topics in life, not just limited to spirituality, but general human behavior. It's a beautiful spiritual friendship. It's a beautiful collaboration that I share with her. So, I don't feel the need to go to clubs, pubs, or have drinks with other people in order to socialize. And socialize does not mean for me that a particular setup has to be there. A setup that requires me to spend a lot of money or try to come across as a certain way. I can be just myself with people I know, because I know that there is no judgment from those people for the way I am. I'd rather be with these people than with those who want me to be a certain way, who want me to have certain beliefs, who put these conditions that I must be supporting this political party, or I must be artistic in my endeavor, or I must be conforming to the societal values. Only then, then a friendship is there, otherwise it's not there. I don't want to be with such people. Who decides what is right and what is wrong for me? Now, people say that, but if we are socially isolated, we can suffer. But I used to try to gel or get along or conform when I was working in the corporate world, and it made me more and more miserable. I tried to get along. I would try to force myself to drink with them even when I didn't want to drink. I never liked drinking alcohol, but I used to force myself just to be in their presence, so that I don't miss out on things, so that I don't feel left out. But it left me with a very hollow feeling afterwards. It left me with a very empty feeling. Trying to conform was the worst thing. It was the worst pressure in life I had. Now, after awakening, quote unquote awakening, things started changing. I did not feel the need to conform to these patterns, to associate with these people who demanded that I be a certain way. So I started being 100% myself. And when I did that, people started moving away, which happens. And it was acceptable. I worked when I felt like working, and there were days or months together when I did not work at all. Sometimes I was just living on my savings. Sometimes I would do small gigs here or there. But I lived life the way I wanted to live, on my own terms. And the spiritual path made it clear that this is not just about me. Whatever insight in life I had received as a part of this awakening, I had to share with other people. So I started sharing my thoughts, my knowledge, or whatever I gained with other people. And it was beautiful. I get so many emails from people all across the world. And I see their trouble. I see what is the problem with them. They are still in the same old patterns, stuck in the societal norms, stuck trying to please their friends, please their family members. They're desperate to fit in the popular culture and experiencing so much trouble. Who decides? Who decides what is right and what is wrong? What's wrong with taking a break and assessing what you want to do with your life? What's wrong with spending time in isolation and reflecting on things and writing about your experiences in life? That's what we need to ponder. If we get trapped into the modern culture and what it promotes right now, a majority of us will be troubled, because if you look at the mental health statistics of some of the most developed nations in the world, the figures are not encouraging. It is an unfortunate situation. We have accumulated a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, because we're just working so hard to fit in, to make it work. We have compartmentalized our lives. We have fragmented our minds. We want to be rich. At the same time, we want to enjoy pleasure also. Pleasure of lazing around on a hot, sunny beach. Our minds are running in two different directions. It is creating dissonance. And that dissonance is responsible for our suffering. So we need to ask this question as to who we really are, because at the root of it, that is the real question, who really I am. Trying to please people, trying to accommodate people, and I'm sure many of you who watch my videos, you have been through that pattern before, and you've seen it doesn't work. When you try to fit in, conform, or please people, you become resentful of them. You become angry. You become upset with them eventually, because there is a lot of pressure you put on yourself to do that. And that pressure comes from the egoic self that says that I must get something back in return. Yes, you're not selfless. You are expecting something back in return. And that is the trap, because they don't see it that way. So yes, a lot of your friendships are going to break after spiritual awakening. When you start living life on your own terms, a lot of people are going to move away. And that may include your family members too. And that's fine. That's okay. If you can live alone with yourself, you are strong. Because to face oneself as they are is the highest act of courage. It is only the weak that find diversions. And diversions are very easy. Drinking, parties, alcohol, substances, social interactions, random social interactions, meaningless, trying to fit in, trying to please. Those are all diversions. Looking at oneself the way we are is an act of strength. So never let anybody tell you how to live your life. You decide. You decide what you want to do in your life, what are your priorities, what path you want to follow, whether you want to follow a spiritual path or work in a corporate world or do anything you like. It's totally your choice. There is no absolute right or wrong here. Your circumstances are unique to you and you only know the best solution. So use your mind. That's why this mind has been given to us. It's a very potent tool. Use it to assess that. What are your priorities? What makes you happy? What gives you peace? Deep down, it is all about peace. It is not about trying to attain this or that to acquire peace. The peace is your true nature. It's your substratum. It's your bedrock. Just tap into that and you will know what is to be done. So I thought I'll share this small message with you, and thank you for your support on Patreon. Your Patreon contributions help us a lot. Thank you and take care.